All right. How you doing, folks? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report with your MLB preview show for a hump day, April 21st. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your morning. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner or hit the subscribe button below this video. How you doing today, folks? Hope you had a good winning night last night with your selections. Underdogs are really carrying the day these days. In fact, let me go to the SBI. I did an SBI show this morning. If you saw it on our, every morning I'm going to, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the videos for the Major League Baseball, NHL, and NBA. And those are the computer forecasts. And then I'm going to do an SBI report, a sports betting index. And if you go to the SBI right now, underdogs, in telling you, it's the complete opposite. And, last year or a couple of years ago when I went back to the drawing board and I said, what goes up must come down. We're starting to see, the reversal from last year. Look at that last night. Underdogs carrying the day again. 8-7, 5-2, 6-9, favoring the underdogs. And the under, look at the under. 10-5, 4-3, 12-2, 12-2-1. Wow. That's, I think that was on Monday or Sunday. So be careful. There's using the stock market analogy, right? You're not going to buy stocks every day. You're not buying Tesla, Apple. You got to pick and choose your spots. And I think one of the toughest thing in sports betting is gamblers want action, right? And I say it all the time. Are you an action investor or a sports investor? And you really have to pick your spots, knowing when to bet on a right situation. And let's take a look at the Bears and Bulls report in Major League Baseball. And just going to hit the 20-minute mark here. And look at the teams that are bullish right now in baseball. A and B type teams, right? You're not seeing C type teams. Miami got kicked out of the bullpen here, of the bullish cycle. Oakland's on a good run right now. LA Dodgers. Tampa Bay finally turning it around a bit. San Francisco. I say it all the time on these shows that the uncomfortable pick that you want to do, right? I was on the Phillies yesterday, and San Francisco just, had a big inning. I think they scored like 6 runs in the 8th or 7th inning, and went on to win 10-7. New York Mets, 7-5, still coming off a loss. We'll give them a few more days to see if they're going to stay in the bullish club. In Seattle, 1-0 loss yesterday to the Dodgers. So tough day yesterday at the office for the Seattle Mariners. All right, let's go to the first game here. And folks, if you are wondering what's going on with the show, it used to be at 11. We're doing 20-minute segments now, and if you go on our YouTube channel, you can subscribe to get a reminder when the show is going to be on. And I'm going to be doing more periodic appearances on the YouTube channel. I'll be doing, Trends Are Your Friends, and I'll also probably do some handicapping, show you guys exactly what I do during the day. And I'll go to my database, look for system trends, and just hit the notification button, and you will see when I'm on. And I'll show you guys exactly what I do each and every day when I'm handicapping my sports. All right, let's take a look at the first pitch here between the Phillies and the San Francisco Giants. Those hot Giants, in fact, right now, 11-6 on the year, 12-5 to the under. Now, we all know San Francisco played a lot of low-scoring games, right? In fact, let me bring up their I'm going to bring up another window here. Hey, you can never have enough windows when you're doing these type of shows. All right, let's go to the scoring averages. You go to tools, go to team scoring rankings, and let's go to MLB. And San Francisco, number 2 in runs against, 3.12 runs against, and points for. That helped them last night get that 10 spot there, the Giants, but they're still 27, 3.59 runs a game. But the Giants pitching is that's what's got them in this spot right now. The Giants pitching has really helped them. And looking at today's starting pitcher, Anthony DeScalafini used to be with the Rockies, now he's with the Giants. Zach Eflin going for the Phillies. We got the Phillies winning this one, 4.3 to 4.1. The over/under at 8.5. Phillies 3-7 though in their last 10 games on a 2-game losing streak. 7-4 at home, but I don't know. They're not giving me a lot of confidence these days. Remember last year the Phillies bullpen was this disastrous? Well, it's starting again, and I always say give it 20 games. And we'll see who's who in the zoo. And right now, Philly's got to really address that bullpen because they blew. You had a 6-3 lead last night, and then San Fran just puts a 6 spot on you. So they got to really fix that. And let's take a look at San Francisco in this spot here as a road dog this year. 5-3 straight up, 4.13 runs for, 3.63 runs against, and again 5-1 at home, 6-5 on the road. But it's the under. Look at the under, 12-5, and a lot of games I've gone under, right? Like that you were on earlier, says Stan Lynch. How you doing, Stan? There's Lonnie Smith. How you doing, Lonnie? Good morning, guys. And thanks for tuning in. And looking at Philadelphia, they got Colorado on deck. And San Francisco will be facing Miami in a series at home against the Marlins, the scrappy Marlins, right? All right, so let's take a look at San Francisco today. And let's see what there's any edge. Coming off a win, they're 2-3 on the road this season. And MLB teams coming off a win as an underdog are 34-30 so far this year. So San Francisco, you know, how many times can you go to the well, right? It's just San Fran's been well. And Zach Eflin is going today for the Phillies. He's 1-0 with an ERA of 3.15. And in his last starts, he gave the Phillies some good innings. In fact, Eflin's probably been their best pitcher giving innings. He's given 7 innings against Atlanta in first game, 6 innings at Atlanta, and then 7 innings in the last starts. But he got hit a bit, 6 hits, 2 runs, but 3.15 ERA against the Cards in the last. So he's 1-0. But the one thing with Eflin, he'll give you some innings, and don't leave it to that bullpen, right? But again, I don't think I'm going to touch this game. And using the SBI as I started at the top of the show, underdogs, be careful on underdogs and unders, right? Look at the unders coming in here at a high clip, 10-5 to the under. Maybe this continues to go. I don't know. Getaway day, right? So the thing on getaway days, one of my baseball betting tips in my book, Ron Raymond's Top 50 Sports Betting Secrets. Normally, on getaway days, people want to get the game out of the way so this way they can get home, especially if the road team's been on a long road, extended road trip. And let me see here. San Fran's been on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5-game road trip, so it's not too bad. It's not like 12 games or 9 games, right? So, looking at this game here today, percentage play does favor the Phillies at 60%, 18% for San Francisco. The DMVI, the Daily Market Value Index, I had the Giants at -125, and I got the Phillies at -116, right there at fair market value. And when I look at Bookmaker, they have that line at -117. So, value, percentage play, and performance cycles is what you're looking for at the Raymond Report. And let's take a look here. Again, I'm not going to touch this game. I think this is a tough game to handicap because you just C-type teams, right? I don't bet on C-type teams, but the one thing with the Phillies, they're 3-1 in the third game of a series this year. So let's see what happens with that. And let me see here. Yeah, no, I'm not going to touch this game. All right, let's go to the next game. Baltimore against Miami. We got the Marlins taking on the Orioles. Trev Rogers. Now, Rogers had he had a really good outing in his last game. Let me take out Trev Rogers' stats here from his last game. I know he went, actually, was it? Okay, maybe it's not Trev Rogers. I thought for some reason it was him. 5 innings. Oh, he went 5 innings. Okay, I was looking at the wrong thing. So he didn't go 5 innings, but he went 6 innings against the Mets. And 3 hits in his last game, 2 runs. He's got an ERA on the season of 2.4. And when he starts for the Marlins, okay, don't have the stats right there. But Bruce Zimmerman, 1-3 for the Orioles when he goes for Baltimore. Zimmerman is 1-1 on the season, ERA of 4.24. The Daily Market Value Index, we had the Marlins at +113, so they're overvalued today at 157. 2 C-type teams. I don't bet on C-type teams. And Baltimore on the road against teams below 500. 5-2 on the year, so that's pretty good right there. 5-2, 7-3 on the road. So Baltimore, bit of Jekyll and Hyde here. They play better on the road, and maybe the under is where you want to look at this game here today, as the under is 7-3 for the Orioles this season. And let me take a look here. Coming off a win, Baltimore coming off a win, 3-2 on the year, 1-4 to the under. So Baltimore on the road coming off a win, 1-4 to the under. And during day games this year, they're 3-1 on the road. So they like the day games, and but they haven't done well against Miami. 3-15 in their last 18 games at Miami. They're 1-6 versus Miami is 1-6 versus right-handed pitchers. So I just saw that right there. the Marlins, they don't do well against. They'd rather face southpaws. They're only 1-6 against righties this year. But you look at the Marlins' record, it doesn't take rocket scientists to realize that 1-6 as they're 7-9 on the year, 3-7 at home. So the friendly confines of Miami Park is not doing well. Was it Lone Depot Park now at Miami? Yeah, it's not. There's no loans to be had there because they're not cashing in any tickets. 2 straight up losses, and again, I do like the Marlins, but it's just a C-type team, right? I don't like betting on teams below 500, especially at this point of the year, right? You got to look for those underdog plays, under the radar plays, and I'm talking about the teams that no one expects to win, in the first 20 games. I'm talking about the Seattles, Boston Red Sox. You got to give credit to the Red Sox. They weren't expected to be this good in leading the division, and all they're doing is winning games, but they're hitting. They got one of the top hitting teams in the league, averaging 5.39 runs for, third in the league in scoring. And the bullpen was the biggest question mark, right? And the starting pitching for the Boston Red Sox, and they're only giving out 3.89 runs a game. So Boston, much a great surprise to a lot of the baseball pundits out there, because no one expected. Everybody's talking about Yankees and these young hitting Blue Jays, right? Everybody thought the Blue Jays would be the team, but Boston, I'm telling you, they're pretty good. And they again, a nice victory last night. All right, speaking of Boston, let's go do that Boston-Toronto game down here. And let me see, we got 10 minutes left in the show. So again, folks, if you have any questions you want to ask, just fire away in the bullpen, and I will answer your questions. So we got Trent Thornton going against Garrett Richards today. Now, looking at the starting lineup, well, I don't think it's a confirm yet, but the starting pitching for the Blue Jays, I'm seeing Anthony Kay now. So that's the thing, right? With starting goalies and NBA, you just don't know who to start. But Garrett Richards, 0-1 on the year, a 6.0 ERA, and in his last starts, he's given the Red Sox 5 innings. So at Minnesota, he had 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, ERA of 6 though, a WHIP of 1.75. And at Baltimore, he gave him 5 good innings. So after a poor start in his first start, April 4th against Baltimore, where he got rocked for 6 runs and 7 hits for 2 innings, he's turned it around the last couple of games. And we got the Blue Jays here winning tonight, 6.1 to 5.7. The over-under at 11.95. And looking at the Blue Jays' last 10 games, 4-6 straight up, 3-7 to the under. And you know what? For a Blue Jay team that was supposed to be, with the young guns and hitting, they're going through some growing pains, right? And that's what happens when you got young players. They just don't know how to handle a bit of a controversy when you're losing, right? 4-7 on the road. Boston 6-5. Boston 6-1 on the road. And the Red Sox, as a home favorite, only 4-5 on the year. So, but that's the first couple of games of the season against Baltimore. I think it was Baltimore they played in the first series. Yeah, so they started out of the gate losing the first 3 to Baltimore. You take away these 3 games here against the Orioles, and Boston's probably the class of the American League East, right? Or the American League in total. Looking after Boston after a win at home, they are 3-0 after a home win as an underdog. So they beat the Blue Jays ace yesterday, Hyun-Jin Ryu. They're 3-0 coming off a win as a home underdog. I don't see any reason not taking Boston again here in this spot. You got an A-type team. They're 3-2 against teams below 500 in the standings. 1-4 for the Blue Jays against the top teams so far on the road. So Blue Jays still going through some growing pains. They need to settle a starting rotation, right? They got every other game they're always filling in that 4th and 5th rotation. So they got to settle down on and get avoid injuries, right? Robbie Ray came back. And, they just got to get some more starting pitching to help out with, the hitting. Because it's like I said at the beginning of the week, right? In hockey, whenever you have a goalie that the team is just like not have 100% confidence in, it's the same thing in baseball. If the pitching's not there, then the hitters start, saying, hey, you need to take pressure off here because we can't be hitting 400, 500 every game here. So they're going to need some help in the bullpen. All right. So I do like Boston here today. Looking at Houston, Colorado. Now, Houston started the season pretty strong. Then they went through a bit of a hiccup. And looking at last night, Nice win for the Rockies. It was a 6-2 win last night for Houston, Colorado over Houston. And at home this year, Colorado 5-6. How did you do last night in MLB? For me, no, it wasn't a great night. 1-2 in MLB last night. 1-2. Colorado, but you know what? 1-1. I had Cincinnati over Arizona, but that game will be finished today. So 1-1 in baseball with that one pending. 2-8 for Houston on the season and last 10. 4-5-1 to the under. Their daily market value index -118 is the value here on Houston. -140 is the line on the Rockies today, and they're sending Jose Urquidy to the mound up against Austin Gomber. And looking at Urquidy in his last couple of starts, in fact, let me take a look at his ERA on the season, and 0.1 with a 4.50 ERA. But here you're pitching at Coors today, so good luck. 5.2 innings last game, 6. So he's giving them some good innings in the last couple of starts. And that's what you want from your starters, right? If your starters in this era of baseball, if they can give you 5 good innings, that's a good start, right? Austin Gomber, 0-2 for the Rockies when he goes to the bump, and 2-8 in their last 10. So the Rockies starting slow again. 5-12 on the season, 5-6 at home, but 3-7-1 to the under. And that's a little bit surprising because Colorado, the balls are always flying out at Coors Field, but 3-7-1 to the under. But the bookmakers adjusting their lines, right? The bookmakers adjusting their lines. What's the total on this game here tonight? So this game here is at 310. It's a 310 pitch, and the total on this game is where is it here? 10.5. 10.5. So that's an interesting stat right there. And in fact, let me see Colorado at home this year when the total's 10.5, 3-3. So 3-3 to the over under. Looking at month of April, 3-8-1 to the under, and versus a national conference opponent, 2-8-1 to the under, and coming off a win at home, they're 0-2. So Colorado 0-2 coming off a win, and for the Houston Astros, 3-2 coming off a loss this year. Second game of a series, or 3-0. So Houston on the road when it's the second game of a series, they are 3-0 on the season. And I do like Houston a bit here, but again, a C-type team against another C-type team. I won't touch that game. Again, the one thing I've done in my sports betting is I've used the less is more concept. I won't bet on losing teams, and I'll pick my spots and just, and if you really want action on a game, then you play at bullpenpicks.com. But you really got to be selective now in sports betting. The lines are so sharp now. I've noticed that the last couple of years. Lines are so sharp that there is not a betting opportunity every day. And people who bet every day is just might as well just write a check to the bookmaker, because 90% of gamblers will lose their money if they're betting every day. Pick your spots, like they say in the stock market, right? Buy low, sell high, and follow the SBI. And if you do follow this channel and you do follow the SBI right here, then you know that the last 3 days have been underdog days, and I'm a favorites bettor, so I like to get my my fix on favorites. But I'm waiting for another say another 70% day for underdogs. If you look at the NHL, I'll give you a good example in the NHL. Just Major League Baseball right now, I think you got to let this play out, these underdogs. The thing is, it's like trying to catch a falling knife right now. If you're thinking, okay, the reversal is going to happen in baseball, and you might be waiting a while, because when underdogs are winning at a high clip like this, it's a high risk environment, right? But if you look at the NHL, if you bet the favorites after an underdog night, you've done pretty well in the NHL. Look at this. Underdogs went 6-4 here. The next day, favorites won 60% of the games. 3-1 on the underdogs here. 8-1, 89%. So you got to wait for your spots betting underdogs. And Lonnie Smith is asking me, do I bet first 5 innings? You know what? I'm an old school handicapper. I bet the long version of the games. And the thing is, I try not to dabble in things that I'm not familiar with, right? And I need resources or something to go back to to see, why should I bet 5 innings? What's my resources? What can I use as a tool to help me win betting 5 innings or props, right? And the thing with all the way the explosion of sports handicapping and sports betting what's happening right now is that I feel that a big majority of the market is betting blind and not knowing, just taking a gut reaction to betting 5 innings. And unless there's resources and, it's like doing your research. You got to do your research on anything you buy, stock markets, sports betting. If you don't do your research, and you just might as well throw a dart, right? So, no, I don't bet the 5 innings. I don't do a lot of props. I do futures. I'll bet on futures because it's a great opportunity to bet on for hedging at the end of the year. But I will do futures. I'll bet futures. What I'll normally do is I'll bet about 3 to 5 futures tickets on big long shots. And if they make the playoffs, then I start hedging, and that's where you make your money back. All right, folks, that's the 20-minute mark here today on the Rain Report. In fact, I'll do one more game. I got another minute here. So let's go to Atlanta against the Yankees. Let's do this one here. Let's do against the Atlanta Braves against the New York Yankees. Corey Kluber going today against Ian Anderson of the Atlanta Braves. Now, we got, the Braves. The Braves there's so much talent on this team. It's like Tampa Bay, right? Tampa Bay started slow. They're starting to put together. To me, Atlanta and Tampa Bay are the same type of team. So much talent. And looking at their scoring average, let's see, Atlanta ranked 12, averaging 4.41. But I think it's the pitching that's hurting the Atlanta Braves right now. In fact, look at their runs against, 4.82 runs against, ranked 23rd in the league. So right now, what's hurting Atlanta is the middle relief to the bullpen, right? The bullpen is killing the Braves right now. They're 4-6 in their last 10. 125 is my number right there, 120. So fair market value. And for the New York Yankees, 120. So they're overvalued. You got 2 C-type teams here, and the Yankees at home this year, 4-6, only winning 40% of the games, but 3-7 to the under. And the Atlanta Braves on the road, 3-7 to the under. So a lot of low-scoring games for both these teams here when they're home and away. And let me see the Atlanta Braves. Just going to see any of my situational stats on tonight. The under, a lot of stats on the under right here. A lot of indicators. In fact, Major League Baseball road teams this year coming off a road loss as a underdog, 21-65-2. Man, that's a high percentage. That's like 65% right there, maybe 70. So Major League road teams that are coming off a road loss and an underdog, 65-21-2 on the season. And you can see the record for the Yankees and the Braves combined, 14-6 to the under. So maybe the under is where you want to lean here today. All right, folks, that's it for the Major League Baseball preview show. Again, you can get the Rain Report each and every day right here at atsstats.com. And all you got to do is get a membership. And then once you get a membership, go to MLB, go to Premium Reports, and you can get the same reports that I break down each and every day right here at atsstats.com. All right, I'll be back here in another 20 minutes. We're going to break down today's NHL games, and we're going to talk about the 4 games going today. But in the meantime, shop for value, play those percentages. We'll see you back here shortly. Oh, before I go, I forgot to mention, check out bullpenpicks.com. If you are interested in following winning baseball handicapping pickers, this to me is one of the best tools you want to have. Bullpenpicks.com. Follow the top pickers. Right now, Touchy Sandusky, you want to follow his picks. G&G, our good friend from North Bay, you want to follow him. He's at 544. And the Terminator, Kevin, 532. And then once you follow these guys, you go to your following page, and you can see their picks right there. And you do your picks, and you compare your selections with theirs. And where was I here? These pop-up ads are too much, eh? All right, here we go. And, so you just want to follow their selections. And then this way you can build your own consensus, and you can build your own team by clicking on their follow your picks. And what you want to do is follow players who win, right? You don't want to follow guys who are losing. Hopefully they turn it around. But if you follow losers, what does Bill Parcells says all the time? You are what your record says you are. So you want to follow winning picks, and this will help you. And I'm telling you, if you start following top pickers, it'll change your mindset on how you handicap, and you'll see how other people think just by following their selections. All right, we'll see you shortly here with another Rain Report.